look right up just like basics of scouting, and I thought we'd
Mhm.
just like kind of exchange stories.
Yeah.
And
I'll do my
I'm not
best.
gonna have a lot. I didn't get to do it. I just had a
nope,
sad
but
story about how I couldn't.
no,
Yeah, I don't remember a lot about it. Like I said, I remember like 3 instances of doing 4. 4. I remember 4 things. But we'll get into that, I guess.
and I also have a list of like 50 famous women who were once Girl Scouts. So
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't see. I guess because mine are old and I don't remember.
yeah, I just started looking up 90s.
90s brownie badges. Or for you, it would be junior badges.
Juniors,
Brownie
yeah.
badges. Or for you, it would be junior badges.
Of course, I'm also mostly in the in the
Or for you, it would be
image
junior
area.
badges.
Pinterest has some that tell me what they are.
Image
area.
Did you
Pinterest
do
has some that tell me what they are.
Did you do a count of like how many each of you have? Did you do a count?
I have 6 of the like actual badges, because I didn't do it for very long. But I've got these like extra ones on the back that are like from events.
I've got.
That's okay. I was really just asking to test my sound in the stream because I could hear you guys talking, and I was like, I need to say something to make sure I'm feeding properly.
I got 20. I just. Oh, hey, vintage.
Vintage.
I'm vintage.
We're both vintage, my dear.
Yeah, right.
When it comes to Girl Scout badges.
Mm-hmm.
What
is that noise? There's a noise. Somebody's alarm was going off somewhere. Oh my god.
I don't hear anything.
Masks? Are you gonna do masks? Are you gonna do some masks?
Masks?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't have an excuse anymore. I finished my current demand, and the local shelter, the one I do the Halloween stuff for, needs masks. So people are like, well, September will do those. I'm like, well, yeah. Give me a minute.
Thanks for volunteering me. I'm gonna make another one for myself at least. It's because I made one that was just it's a very basic crochet mask, but then it's layered on the inside with, you can layer it with more cotton because I use cotton yarn, but I actually had scraps of silk, so I layered the inside with silk. And I've got some more scraps of that, so I have a pattern that I made. I'm gonna make a mask that has like a little nose and mouth on it, so it's like a little kitty mask. Because why not?
Kitty masks are best masks.
Kitty masks are best masks. What have you sent me? Yay! I didn't get the safety one.
I did want to ask you about crocheting some things for me.
Cool. We can talk about that.
In mask things.
Okay.
They have these, like I have friends who have to wear them like 12 hours a day and shit.
Yeah.
And I don't crochet, but I know there's like you can make these little bands with buttons on either end, so they can wear their masks on those.
Do you ask them if they would rather have those or the plastic ones? Because some folks find it difficult to wash them. Ask them what they would prefer.
Do you have a 3D printer? I was wanting a 3D printer the other day when Brian Ibbett posted he was making those.
No, but my friend does, and I think they've printed some. So
I'll take whatever you have, basically.
Yeah.
And then pass it on to whoever I'm making for, because I'm not going to stop making anytime soon. Ooh, Star Wars fabric.
There's the music one. I found it.
Mario fabric.
Oh.
I will definitely. Yeah. I will take your fabric donation.
Oh, interesting. That other one that I thought was for like exercise is play. It's just play.
Oh, okay. Brownies, I think.
See, we need badges like that now. I need like old lady badges to remind me to go play.
Oh yeah, and this one that I thought was like a unity badge. It's the Girl Scout ways.
Man, I still remember the little thing and everything. The little motto. That was it. I can have words.
I have
Just
words.
do like a pledge. Is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a pledge. We had the Girl Scout pledge.
I could do it right now.
Oh, that's right. I've seen Boy Scouts do that. You hold up your fingers
Yeah.
or something.
I think
So
Girl Scouts was 3 fingers, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, it's 3 fingers.
3 fingers.
On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law.
Yeah, live by the Girl Scout law. I remember the last part.
All right, I'm gonna have to totally cut that bit and put it as the intro in the episode. If you guys don't redo that during the show, if you say it together during the show, that might be even better.
We'll try. We'll try.
Okay, I'm about to say, do I need to?
Like,
I'm hosting, so I need to wrangle, right?
Yep.
Wait, we could literally. Let me hold on. Let me just. I don't remember it by heart.
I'm about to say I might have missed a few words, but like
Oh, it's a good thing
I had to-
have Stream Deck up because
I had to do a sing song. That's the easiest way I remembered stuff as a kid.
Yes.
Isn't the 3-finger thing the mockingbird
Yep.
thing?
It
That's
is.
cool as shit.
Yeah.
Totally
oh,
is.
awesome. I would say
Anyway.
Like I automatically did this, and I was like, well, maybe it's 2 because that can't be right, can it? I don't know. Apparently,
No,
it
it's.
is.
Oh, hold on. Let me look. I see picture.
3,
Yep,
right?
it's 3.
Yeah.
It's 3. I found this Girl Scout promise. So if we want to try and do it in sync, we can try.
Okay.
Do you have a cue for it? Like, did they give you a cue like church things?
We just the leader would just start it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
would do it usually at the start to kind of get everybody to calm down and like come together.
Yeah. All right.
And then
You ready?
ready.
We'll do it, and then you start the intro. So okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. On my
On
honor,
my honor, I
I
will
will try to serve,
to serve
God,
God and
and
my country,
to help,
people at all
at all
times,
and to
and to
live
live by the
by
Girl
the Girl
Scout law.
Scout law.
All right. Well, welcome to episode 159, where we're obviously going to be talking about Girl Scouts. This is the Geek Girls podcast. It's supported primarily by our patrons at www.patreon.com/grills. I'm Ray. I'm joined by my awesome co-hosts, Ember and Linda. And
Hello.
start this off. So, what have you been up to? Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
So I've been. Hold on, I get him. He's off camera. I've been crocheting jellyfishes again. So I got a yellow one. I've almost got the entire rainbow. I just need to do an orange and a red one. And I have Ember, the thing you love, a plushie in pieces.
Oh boy, we should have invited Jen.
It's gonna be a little red Yoshi eventually. But this is my stream buddy for this coming week. And let's see. I bit the bullet and put out a call for a bi-monthly D&D game that I'm gonna run. I haven't GM'd in quite some time. But I have 4 players that answered almost immediately. And they were super excited, and I'm super excited. So I learned how to utilize Roll20 because I've used it as a player, but I've never used it on the GM side. So I just was like looking at it and went, "There's a tutorial."
Yes.
Nice.
So I went through that, and I now have a campaign. I've got a couple of pages, and so that'll be entertaining. I have 4 very entertaining players. I have the feeling that this is going to be the campaign of side quests, but I'm here for it.
Did you decide on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Wednesday. Gonna do Wednesday.
So I
'Cause
thought
that's
about
best.
it. Trying
Yeah.
to jump in. Are you gonna stream it?
I don't think we're gonna stream it. I'm definitely gonna be, if it's okay with them. It's something I have to make sure that they're okay with. I'm gonna be recording them just so that later on I can take notes on it, because this is part of the idea I have that I want to eventually publish with the oh god, what's it called? It's all the fan published stuff to make into an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm basically playtesting it right now because I've got the idea and I've got like an outline, but I'm not going to see how it moves and breathes until I get players.
So you want to create
So
an open source book that you can get like an import in Roll20? Because I know they have those where you can.
yeah,
Cool.
I basically want to make my own little adventure and get it published. So um, I'm going to test it by fire and see if it survives.
You're forging it in fire.
I'm forging it in fire. It does mean that my like little ASMR project I'm putting on the back burner for a little bit, because this is going to be kind of my new writing project. Um, and we're gonna see how it goes, and it'll be interesting because other thing that happened this past week is we're back to regular work hours.
Oof.
So back to 40 hours, and that's okay. I spend not a lot of it, but I spend a good amount of it right now not doing anything, because people are still trying to, honor quarantine. So I can write at work. Just on my phone. I'm just making notes on my phone. So we'll see how it goes. And if the guys are okay with it, then I might edit it and put it out just for people's ears. Who knows?
Okay, cool. How about you, Ember? What you up to?
Well, so I'm on this Facebook group, and it's called Love Street, and it's really nifty little. Everybody's got these lists, like $10 and under things, and it's all these ladies just randomly sending each other presents and having conversations around it.
Aw.
And yeah, it's really sweet. So it's like, okay, I sold this last week, and so I have a little money of my own to spend, and because I sold a pie. And I was like, I'm gonna send people presents, and then I got some presents. Today I got a present. It was the first thing. It wasn't from someone I knew in real life, which is kind of funny. Like, there's like, I don't even know, hundreds and hundreds of members in this group, and it seemed, and I got a couple things. It was like, one was from my friend Lena, and one was anonymous, but I know it was my friend Erin because she already told me, and I'm like, this is, we could have just sent each other stuff, but we're sharing wish lists. That's cool. But today I got something that I had actually put on the list for Rob. Cause when I was looking for, cheap little gifty things, I found this coffee mug, and it said, I thought I liked coffee. Turns out I like creamer. And he is that guy. So, and I'm always bitching because, like, oh my God, he goes through creamer. Like, I'm like, really? I have to go to the store again? Really? Stop it. Calm down with the creamer. Um, so, and that's, so that's been lovely. This has been kind of cute. I got the greatest little Groot planter. Oh, so great. And I put a cactus in its head. So he's got this crazy neon hairdo, because it kind of looks like Teen Groot. So it's like, he needs crazy hair. I've got this neon succulent that can go in there.
Yes.
Um, so the painting continues. I have ideas for things I want to be painting. And in the process, my friend Leah gave me a whole bunch of acrylic paint. She was like, oh, do you have paint? I'm like, oh, I only have a little bit in my kit, and some of it is racked because it's been sitting there for years. And she's like, I have all this paint, and she, in my mail, next to my mailbox, delivered. She's like, there's a bag by your box. I go down there, and it's not just a bag, it's a Kingdom Hearts purse that I love, that I have lusted after for like ever, that I could never justify buying because I didn't play the game, but now I do play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And she filled it with brushes and all these acrylics, and I was so excited. So then I was like, I need somewhere to put this stuff. All I have is this tiny wood box. So I've got this old wooden box I use for like all kinds of magical stuff back in the day that I haven't touched in years. I'm gonna go get that and repurpose it because it also has like a little secret compartment in the lid I could put all the brushes in. And it's a good size. I'm like, this will be perfect. And then I can actually use the purse. So I go up in the top of the wardrobe and I get down this old box and I dust it off and I open it up. And I had apparently already repurposed it for that years ago. And I forgot. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually senile. Holy shit. Like a Mother's Day or Christmas or something some years ago, I had mentioned wanting to paint. And Rob got me a bunch of big tubes of acrylic and some brushes. And I had already done this with this box. So I open up and it's full of paint. It's like,
Well, now you have plenty of paint.
like I have all the titanium white and Mars black. I got the bases down, right?
Yep.
So I messaged Leah. I'm like, so do you want this stuff back? She's like, no, keep it. I'm like, good. Now I have every fucking color in the world. And yeah, so duh. But I also have a place to sort of put it. I'm also trying to clear craft table space. It's not going real well. And Rob made me pallets. He was in the wood shop making things, and he had some really thin, like 1/4-inch ply, and he cut me out and sanded, and we polyurethaned, and I have like pallets.
Nice.
Which he made the mistake of posting online. So now he's got people going, ooh, can you make me one? And excuse me. So Rob comes to me earlier. He's like, I'm having your problem. I don't know what to charge. I don't know how to do this. So I'm like, okay, like the materials costs, and then you've got, your hourly and what you want that to be, and don't forget your finishing materials and, who you making it for, how close to cost you want to give it to them for, and what retail is, because you don't want to undercut anybody else who's hand making such a thing. So that was neat, because I've asked him for help on the million times, and he acts like, why are you even questioning this charge, whatever. And now he feels the pain.
Yeah.
Revenge.
More like karma.
Right? I picked up some solar lights for our garden. Like, we've cleared all this area, and I have all these pretty plants now, and I got these little 250 stake in the ground solar lights. And the one I wanted to mention in particular was Rob got me this Japanese maple. So I love those. And we named it Saka. So now I have a solar light globe under it, and I am calling it You.
Oh,
His girlfriend that
Heart.
turned into the moon.
my heart.
So yeah, that's been my geeky week. I had one other thing, but I can mention it later if I can get an example to show. Oh, and I got a grill. I had to replace my grill.
Oh,
And the only way
grill,
to fit
you
it,
got a grill.
a grill got a grill, and a grill that has gas on one side and charcoal on the other, which I'm really excited about.
Ooh.
But I couldn't fit it in the back of my vehicle unless it was in the box, so I had to assemble the whole fucking thing.
Oops.
That was a long day.
Whoopsie doodles.
Yeah. So what have you been up to, Ray?
One of my friends, Ashley, actually did a cute little karaoke. She just sang a little song dressed up as I don't think it's an active character, just like some really cute like horns. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna do it dressed up as one of the characters that I haven't played in months now. So I dressed up as my little cyber goth character and sang Celebrity Skin by Hole. And posted that.
I appreciated it.
Cool, I missed
people
that.
seem amused by it, so I put it on Facebook, and I have it unlisted on YouTube, and I can send you the link if you want to laugh.
Yeah.
And but no, that was lots of fun. We're also trying to do the kind of a version of Pass the Brush, because we've seen a bunch of different LARP groups do that. So I finally, while I was all dressed up, went ahead and did my clips, and I just need to send them on to the amazing Alice, who is going to put it all together. Thank you for editing, because I haven't edited in 20 years. Yeah, aside from that, I went through some old art books and just kind of been coloring them, which I do a lot of drawing, but not much color. So just trying to finish them, especially since I haven't really been in the mood to draw. And the only other like big thing we did was Sunday we had to go to the across the street to the SunTrust Stadium, the Battery, which is a new big stadium they made in Cobb County in Georgia, because
That
they have
nobody
Chargers.
wanted.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But yeah, Scott has to charge his car. So we just went over there, and I was walking around. It was I was really impressed. I'm like, oh, it's Saturday. It's like 4 o'clock on a Saturday. It's not that busy. There's like the few people I've seen have had masks. I'm really proud of everybody.
Yay!
And then I get to a point where I can look into where like the main section where they have like a lot of the stores and like other events, completely filled and no masks. And I'm like, nope, we're sticking on the outside. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep finishing this nice little walk, and that's it.
But yeah, like I forgot to mention, because it was traumatizing. Is I had to go over to the Joann's to get. I'm running out of black yarn. I'm running out of black yarn, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna go in, get some black yarn, and be done with it. And I would go, and I forgot that the Joann's, this store, is closing to move, and so everything is on sale. And there was so many people. I had my mask on and everything, and I'm just like, I was literally scrunched like this as I'm walking down the aisle, like, you're too close to me. I would have gotten fabric, but the line was 10 deep, and I was like, nope, not worth it. Like, I literally had the police songs, like, don't stand so close to me, don't stand so. And I was just like, I'm not is it agoraphobic is the fear of going. I'm not agoraphobic, but I did not want to be there. And I was like, I'm done. Going home. Gonna wash my hands.
Yes.
And I didn't even get any black yarn. They were out. It's like, God damn it.
Oh no.
Yeah. For those of you who are live with us, this is how much black yarn I have left. Ooh. And it's all for the project that I'm working on right now.
So I could deliver some. Like, just like leave it on your porch. I think I still have a thing that I bought. I haven't done yarn work since February.
We'll see. We'll come up with something.
Okay.
We'll come to an agreement.
I'm about to say it's not fancy yarn. It's just Red Heart.
Fine. I may go delve into some of my older projects and cannibalize some of the old stuff. Anyway, but yeah, I understand that. If you get there and you're like, oh, people, please, you're too close.
Yeah, I was just like, nope, I'm not. I don't want to deal with that. I'm gonna finish my nice little walk in the sunshine, which I haven't seen in like been out in sunshine. It feels like 2 months. I know I've gone out to get the mail and stuff since then, but it just feels like I haven't had a nice long walk.
Yeah. I tried to return my library books, but our libraries are still closed.
Book drop?
But I got it. Yeah, even the book drop is shut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have signs up like plastered across it, and I looked, and they're like, you're not going to accrue fines during this time when the library is shut down, but there's nobody there to get the books out of the book drop.
Oh, yeah, so it would just fill up.
So they're like, nope, just keep them. We'll let you know when we're open again. And I was like, okay. Fair. I've had these books for 2.5 months now. Anyway.
And how are you going to get a book? Because...
yeah.
When is our book club episode, by the way? I wanted to actually publicize that, and I couldn't remember when we decided to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I'll just get a book through Goodreads if they have the one that we're reading.
Because I think we talked about
Yeah,
it
let me.
in our meeting, but we didn't announce it in the show, and
Do.
sorry, bad timing, but
Oh, yeah, no, that's
I
fine.
do want to bring it up in a
It's okay.
show so people can read along.
Tangent. Where is my?
Tangent.
That's the wrong thing. Going
That's what
into
we're
my
doing.
drive. Start. Over to here. Over to here. Where's the book? Book list. It's somewhere. Where's the
I know
book
we've
list?
got a book. There's like a few local bookstores that have opened around us.
But that's not the right thing.
Well, we don't need to look right now, but we can just tell everybody
Yeah.
the book we are reading for our next book club,
I found it.
which will be when?
Oh no, this is the wrong one. Shit.
To be announced.
To be announced. It's in June.
Okay.
I think it was in June because that was like the midpoint of summer. Like that rings true to me.
Well, keep an eye on our Twitter, and when we figure it out, we'll announce it ahead of time. But for now, go ahead and get The Bicycle Diaries by David Byrne, if you would like to read along.
It was July. Same thought process, but it's July. I actually wrote down that next to book club was a little parentheses July.
Okay, so that's probably why I haven't.
We're so organized.
Okay.
I'm so
organized. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
It didn't need to be that much of a tangent. I am not editing this deal.
It's fine. Everything's fine forever.
Yay.
Thanks, Steam. Thank you, Steam. I did not need to know that an item on my wish list is on sale. Thanks. Anyway.
All right.
Moving on.
So, moving on. Actual topic. Girl Scouts, which is why for people who are watching, I have this lovely green beret on my head and a khaki shirt because that's about the closest I could find. And I think me and Linda actually pulled out our old.
Yes, she has. So
I have a vest.
Kelly made it to junior. I unfortunately only made it to brownie, so I've got my very old little. It doesn't fit around my shoulder anymore. I can only wear it around my head. But my little brownie sash, and this. I don't know if this patch was something I got as a brownie. It was with my brownie stuff. It's a Stone Mountain like historical trail, like going down the historical trail, I guess. But I don't know if that's actually part of things that I did as a brownie. I don't remember a lot about it because I think I was 8.
You could just buy the patches from places you went. Like I've got one from when we went to Cherokee, North Carolina here, which I thought it was an awesome trip. It was just me and my parents, and so my mom just put it back there, and it took up like way too much of my vest.
Well, and brownies are what age? What are the ages of each level?
Okay, yeah. So Girl Scouts have 5 different levels. It starts with daisies, which is like kindergarten, so it's like 5 to 6. Then you have brownies, which are 6 to 8. Then you have the juniors, which are 8 to 11. And then cadets, which are 11 to 14, which is actually where I tapped out. And then after that, there's seniors, which are 14 to 17. And then you can also stick with it, like, as an adult. Like, you can, I believe they have something for if you do college, you can get together with other Girl Scouts your age in college and continue to do just community work together. And of course, you can always become leaders yourself.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what happened to my troop, but for some reason the words my troop got liquidated got stuck in my head. I don't think that's right. But
wow.
Like I think like the lady who was running it like didn't want to run it anymore or something, and I didn't like really press my mom into like I want to still do this, so she didn't find me another troop. And that's nothing like saying against her or anything like that. I guess at that point I wasn't as interested. And she wasn't going to like make me do something that I wasn't interested in. So
that's good.
that was that was kind of where my journey there ended. But I remember four things from being a brownie. Number one is the father-daughter dance, because that was when I was still little enough that my dad let me stand on his feet while we danced around.
I did that too with my dad.
Yeah, we did a camping trip that I remember, and we were all in this like one big. I remember it being like circular, but it was this one big circular like cabin all together. And I remember having a nightmare about a train, and that was because there was a train right next to us that woke me up in the middle of the night. It was great. And then I remember the big gathering where we all made little art pins, like little pins to trade with each other. I think that's what the intergathering was.
Okay.
I can't remember if that's what it's called.
And
but I have a
love
badge.
of pins.
I have my love of pins. That might be where it stemmed from, maybe.
I think this might be the third origin story of your love for pins.
Maybe. it all
dig deeper and
together.
deeper.
She was destined for pins.
It was totally destined. There was some other thing, like I vaguely remember selling cookies. Vaguely. It was mostly my mom taking the sheet to her work and being like, "Buy these."
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much how it still works for everyone.
Yeah.
I have a badge, you see, of being a superior cookie seller in '93.
You should make something for your mother and put it on there.
I should. Best mom cookie seller.
Yeah. I called my mother today to try and figure out what happened, because I had this vague recollection of looking around at like this church table sale trying to find a brownie uniform, and I was going to join the brownies and I was really excited, and then it just never happened. And I said, why? Like, I don't remember. Or do I know why? And she's like, oh, I was still working swing shift and your dad didn't want to take you the alternate weeks.
Aw.
I'm like, okay. She's like, I offered him half off on child support and he just didn't want to pay any and continue to do it that way, I guess, so you couldn't do that. I'm like, all right. Sorry I asked. Have a nice day. But it's like, wow, she was a single mom. I mean,
yeah.
And it would have been about that age. They had divorced and it was like 7, I think, ish.
Mm-hmm.
And you just can't. She was working sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening, and I didn't get to do any of that shit until many years later when she worked night shift. But yeah, I envy that you did, but it's funny that you don't remember anything they taught you.
I remember that. Okay, here's the funny thing. So when Kelly and I were doing I had to look up, I remember the very last line of the Girl Scout oath, but I remember the cadence. That is what I remember of the Girl Scout oath is actually the cadence of saying it, and then the very end and live by the Girl Scout law. That's what I like. I don't know, like.
I'm keep losing this.
Now I'm curious. I'm gonna call my mom and be like, so I don't remember a lot about it. I bet you remember more than I do. I had fun though. I remember going to the big festival. The Dogwood Festival, the Daisy Festival. But we went as a troupe, and it was yeah.
I know. We did the big one I remember is the Eggleston Tree Festival.
Mm-hmm.
They used to do downtown in Atlanta, and it would.
I think it was the Tree Festival. Do you remember the pig ride? Do you remember the pig ride that was up?
That was it.
It was terrifying. I was
like an actual pig.
No. It was
It was like an indoor mini roller.
No, it's Georgia.
It was an indoor mini roller coaster that was shaped like a pig. That was hanging from the ceiling, and you would get into it, and you would go around the whole big area because the tree festival was inside this giant building.
I think
And
that was like the early convention center or something.
yeah, and I just remember it being terrifying because the thing was all rumbly and like screeching with all the metal, and I was just like, I don't want. I think
I'm
I'm
still
gonna die.
confused. You lost me at Tree Festival indoors.
Yeah, so what I remember, and we did a couple versions of it. Like we went a couple different years, but everybody had big like pine trees that they decorated indoors, and they were
Mhm.
like, "Oh, this is this bank or this is this community." Everybody decorated them, but then they also had some of them had themes, like there was like Christmas around the world, which
Yeah.
I remember really liking. That was my favorite part. And you would have like, ooh, these are Danish Christmas cookies, or like
Mhm.
you would just like learn little bits as you went to the different areas, which is kind of neat.
Yeah. So I remember that. That and
Now I understand
I'm
they've added more modern practical skills lately. Like I know there was
Uh,
a lot of complaint about it being very like boys learned practical things and girls learned girl
Mhm.
things back in the
yep.
day.
Yeah. So actually, the way Girl Scouts started is the Juliet Daisy Gordon Low met Robert Baden Powell, who would go on to form the Boy Scouts of America. And he had just published a book in the UK where Juliet was living then called Scouting for Boys. And I think like a year later, he started the Boy Scouts. But she was really inspired by that. And actually, while she was still living over in the United Kingdom, joined the Girl Guides, which is kind of like the Boy Scouts girl version. But then when she got home, she's like, she moved back to Savannah, Georgia. She's like, we can do something ourselves. Like, we can do more of an American thing. So she wanted to prove there was something similar for the girls in America, and they could like learn to explore and learn about being outdoors and self-sufficient, self-reliance, and confidence outside the home. Because this is still like early 20th century.
Mhm.
So, like, she started the Girl Scouts, and we didn't even have the right to vote yet.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be passed until the 1920s, and the ERA still hasn't passed. So, but yeah. So basically, it just started as a way to encourage girls because yeah, there wasn't much to do outside the home. Um, it wasn't, and she basically used it to kind of with her social connection because she was a socialite. Um, and she set up her first headquarters as a carriage house in Savannah that she inherited from her husband.
Yep.
And
So
I actually,
it
oh, go ahead.
started in Georgia. You know.
Started in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
I actually
But a
remember we took a.
socialite. I find that interesting because like the uniforms and the patches, like it's kind of cost prohibitive for a lot of people. Like I've
Yep.
donated to help friends get their kids into scouts because they just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, like when we joined, we had there was a consignment store called Reruns, and it was a consignment store. It was a secondhand store, but they specifically had a Girl Scout section, so you could get used uniforms and books and
Right on.
patches, and that's
Yes.
actually how we were able to afford a lot of it because we didn't have a lot of money either. So,
See, they should
but
have
they would
taught
like
you embroidery
they really should have taught me sewing.
and
I don't
make
know why my
patches.
mom
Yeah.
didn't take advantage of trying to do that.
I mean, apparently, I was real good at like the artistic side of things because I have a lot of artistic badges. So they were
I,
teaching us. I think in my it probably depended on who was leading your troop, depended on what they were teaching, and I think that the lady that was leading ours was probably very artistically inclined because we did the pins, we did music stuff, like a lot of the art part of it. Although we did do like a little camping trip, but I think it was only the once. Again, I wasn't in it for very long. Um,
yep.
Do they get to
Uh,
choose their curriculum, the leaders?
yeah, the leader and the co-leader put it together, and usually they have like, if they don't ask the girls, they kind of have an idea of what the girls want to do. Um, I actually begged my mom because we didn't have a Girl Scout troop in our area. So she tells this probably better than I will, because I don't really remember this, but I was such a brat. I don't doubt that I did it. It was apparently at a PTA meeting, and I was there, and they were talking about how like there's no Girl Scouts for the Northwest Georgia area, but nobody wants to be troop leader. And I got down on my hands and knees in front of everybody and
Oh.
started begging my mom to become the troop leader, and she's just like, I hate this child. Fine, fine, I'll do it. And bless her, she was my brownie leader and my junior leader. I like I halfway through juniors, I think she stopped, and I got somebody else, and that was fine. I think she was our co-leader, and she became the actual leader for a while. But yeah, no, I begged her so we would have one. And a lot of what we did was I remember brownie stuff was a lot of kind of play incorporation. Like we did a lot of learning around the world, like different ways, different games from around the world. And my mom was really big into the whole rainbow family, don't see color, which as an adult I've only learned how problematic that can be, but her intentions were good. I will give her that.
It was a very healthy way to look at it then, as that whole
In the 80s.
yeah,
Yeah.
social stuff has evolved. And she must have been very focused on the culture stuff. Like, your memory of
Oh
the
yeah.
cultural aspect of the Tree Festival is pretty vivid. She must have been pointing out that stuff in particular.
She has a sociology degree.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And
Gosh, I feel like I'd be good at this. Like,
I was just looking
kind of
around
an
the tree.
anthropology buff. I sew, I cook, I camp.
I just remember looking around the tree festival, going, "Wow, it's so big,
huge.
so big."
But yeah, like specifically the brownie stuff, I remember we did a lot of dancing. And we had like little mini talent shows that we would do so everybody could try. And we would have like we had votes on what we wanted to do. So I was always the minority because my dad was a Boy Scout. He made it up to Eagle Scout. So he still had all of his books because he's a pack rat and I love him. So I was reading all of his books like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to learn how to knot, and we're going to learn archery, and we're going to learn how to fish and cook our own fish. And no, that's not what we did. I was downvoted
I'd have been
every
all over
time.
that.
I would have loved archery. I would have loved that.
I should say the most I got, but the closest I got to like the whole outdoor stuff was my mom, bless her heart. I think this was before the back surgery. We did a hike along Etowah Mountain, which over by Etowah Dam, excuse me. It's a little mountain. I can't remember what it was, but it was a very nice hike. It was like a 2-hour hike. And I was being really obnoxious because I was so excited. And I'm like, oh, that's that flower, and that's that flower. And I'm stacking the rocks like Boy Scouts do, so you would know which way to go, even though the sign is right there. The paint is right there on the tree, Kelly. You don't need to do that.
Is that what they do? I've seen the stacked rocks and didn't know what they were when I hike.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 on top of each other was like this way, or if you had like 2 and 1, it was like turn left, and it's a whole thing. I know it's in the Boy Scout guides
But this
somewhere.
is like a secret order, because like if you weren't in the Boy Scouts, you don't know.
I don't know, but I had
was
their
like,
book.
why are people piling up rocks?
It's little trail signs.
Well, now I know, but I still don't know what they mean, and I'd have to Google it.
It's like when you learned there were hobo signs.
No, it's a great idea in prehistoric times, I suppose.
So like,
there's a big EMP, we'll need to know that. But it'll be too late to look it up, and only the Boy Scouts won't be lost.
Yep. I'll have to go all the way back and get my dad's Eagle books that he still has.
That's who you need. That's who you need for the zombie apocalypse. The Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. They get a knife, man. We don't get knives. We sell cookies.
Yeah.
I feel like if the apocalypse happens, there's a group of teenage boys that are all going to try to get here. It's like I have taken my son camping with his teenage boyfriends like a couple of times and taught them how to do camping things. Here's how you pitch a tent. Here's how you make a fire. They go over to my house when we have a fire, and they like dug up clay in the yard. We're trying to fire it in the pit, and like I'm that mom, and none of the other moms. They're just like, thank you, because I am never doing that shit.
No, that's like, yeah, no, I'm right there with you. That is the cool stuff to do.
Like, here's how you cook on a fire, because you are not going to eat better food than I'm going to throw this cast iron pan right in that fire.
But yeah, going all the way back to history, I promise you there's only like one paragraph left on it because I just had the briefest of outlines. Like, oh, this is kind of neat. So Girl Scouts wasn't really super popular because they were competing with the Girl Guides at the time, and Boy Scouts, of course. So it wasn't until like World War One where she helped organize the Girl Scouts specifically to assist the Red Cross by making like surgical dressing and knitting clothes and like making scrapbooks for wounded soldiers and smokeless trench candles that like people started to kind of notice this group. And that's when they kind of like overtook the Girl Guides, became more infamous, and then I think oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say over in the UK, they have the WI, which I don't remember if the Girl Guides are supposed to be like the prequel to that, or if the WI just kind of took over after that during World War II, which is the Women's Institute. So that's their big, like, I don't... it's like a national like knitting club, but I don't mean it. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like they teach how to can food. They teach how to do crafts like knitting and crochet and lace making and all sorts of things. It's really really cool, actually. The WI, and I wish we had a big like a national organization like that over here in America. But the closest thing that we've got is the Girl Scouts.
And, Girl Scouts aren't bad. I mean, girls of every race, creed, color, national origin, and economic group are eligible. We did talk about how there are dues that are due for, I think it's like a month. They meet each month for a thing. Maybe it was each week.
I think it was
a month, right?
I think it was a month.
Because I would get really excited because once a month I would be that dork who wore her uniform to school. Because I was always very excited. Because I didn't have church, like I didn't grow up with the church. Like I was raised Baha'i. That wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
What? Okay, sorry. One of my cats made a weird noise. I was very concerned. So for me, this was like my big social interaction with other girls outside of school.
It's your community.
So, yeah, it was a big deal for me.
We do have a former Boy Scout in the chat who mentioned that the trail signal things, it was supposed to be old trail signs from the Native Americans. That's what they were told.
Neat.
I'm sorry, I question the truth and origin of that, but
Yeah, I think I remember that. I also have. So
Possible.
I'm not completely. Well, I'm not completely dependent on my dad's Eagle books. I have my own like Indian guide to trails and cooking outside and making peckermint.
Nice.
Which I haven't actually did, but there's a really cool section on like tanning your own leather though, and like skinning. That's cool. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do that. Probably not, but
I have the knowledge.
I have the knowledge if it happens to come to that.
You have the knowledge, if not the experience.
Yes. I'm confident I can at least cook my own chicken dinner. I definitely have that experience.
There you go.
But
and I can make cheese.
You can.
You can make cheese. I have a sourdough starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By our powers combined, we almost have a full sandwich.
I can tell you what plants are and are not edible. That's actually pretty important.
Yes, that's very important.
I know the difference between poison ivy and poison oak.
Both of those are bad. Just stay away from the climbing, creeping.
Poison sumac, no good.
No good. No good.
All right. Let's see. I wrote a few notes so I wouldn't get completely lost.
There you go.
Let's see. Yeah, I specifically remember we did a lot of crafting and fundraising because that's my mom had that high community focus.
Mm-hmm.
So, I remember we did like car washes to raise money for like something. I know some of them were trips that we took. Like we did the Savannah trip, and that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we did. I think we did some sort of fundraiser to go on our little camping trip. I don't remember the specifics, but
yeah,
I got stranded in Savannah once because my car broke down. I was driving a hearse. They couldn't get me out of town fast enough. I'll tell you what. They had some mechanic working on my car at 3 a.m. trying to get me the hell out. Anyway,
let's see. Of the Savannah trip, I wrote down. I actually remembered some of it. Did I write it down? I swear I did. The big thing I remember is there was this long bridge that I think was like from Savannah to like South Carolina or something. I don't know. There was a really big bridge that we went over at one point, and I was impressed. We found a kitten that was in the wheel well of the van that we were in. They were able to rehome him while we were in downtown Savannah to a very nice, like, young couple. They were very cute.
Yay!
They were very
Girl Scouty thing to do.
Yeah. They were very indulgent of this group of like 10-year-olds just crying over this kitten. We went to the Juliet Lowe house, and I got my little badge from that there. Is Juliet Lowe's the one who went on to she founded the Girl Scouts.
Gotcha.
So it was her birthplace. So we went to see her ancestral home. I don't know. They apparently had been in the family since the 19th century. Socialite family. But we also, I don't think we went to the very first official meeting house. Like, actually, if I remember, a lot of our meeting houses happened at like places that you would rent for parties or like old churches that will allow you to.
Yeah, I believe, if I'm recalling correctly, our meeting space was a youth room at a church.
Yeah,
remembering that right.
We had a couple different ones, and then my mom worked at a daycare center, so we were allowed to use the daycare center after hours for a while, and that was cool.
Neat.
Yeah,
she got permission. Yeah, I'm looking over my old badges. I'm trying to remember what Thinking Day is. I have a badge for Thinking Day in '93. I apparently thought real hard in '93 on this day.
And then sold all the cookies.
And then I
sold all the thoughts, apparently.
Yes. And then the very next badge I have is health and fitness. So apparently I decided to get fit after selling all them cookies.
Yeah, I have a couple outdoor extravaganza, which I remember were like giant field day events with like different groups coming together.
Was that where we exchanged pins?
It could have been. I don't remember pin exchange.
Like, I swear.
I remember.
I swear to Christ, there was there was a gathering of like 20 troops from all over Georgia, and we had all made a specific, like, it was off of like a safety pin, but it was specific to each of our scout groups. And we would go and meet the other girls of these scout groups and then exchange pins with them. So, and we had hats. We had a hat that was just covered in pins. I bet my mom still has mine. I would be willing to bet a large sum of money, actually, that my mom still has mine. But it was just covered in like all of these handmade little bobbly pins. I was so excited. But I don't remember. Was that the intergathering day? I have a badge.
I think you're conflating gatherings where they have pin addicts. You just want it to have started there now.
Oh no. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I have been to one pin gathering at actual, like, in Disney World at Epcot. Holy crap. I thought I had a lot of pins.
Yeah, I see people walking around with them. It's like some of them. I mean,
they had books. Like
vestments.
I had a book to put them in. I have since put them up onto like a pushpin board so I can see them, because if they're in the book, I can't see them unless I take them out. But yeah, there were these people that had multiple books of pins, and I'm like, that's a lot of money sitting right there.
Remind me to ask you something about pins after the show. Okay?
Okay.
Do you ever sell calendars as well as cookies? Because I have one for selling calendars.
I don't think we ever sold calendars.
I don't remember that.
There's a couple of, like, the thing is I remember the fundraisers more for band than I do for Girl Scouts.
Fair. Like, again, my mother with the cookies and working at the daycare center, basically I would just give her the form, and then we would have cases of Girl Scout cookies we would then deliver after. Bless those people for buying all those cookies.
Oh man, the Girl Scouts that are around here, I don't know if they're going to do it at the new location, but at the old location of the Joann's store, they would camp outside and wait for people to come out.
They have an app now. You can go to the Girl Scout website and you can see where they're going to be, like which Kroger's. Like, that's what I did this year because I didn't have any people with Girl Scout children at work this time. So I scouted them out myself, and I'm like, they're going to be at Kroger. I'm going to Kroger on this day. I showed up with $40 just for Girl Scout cookies.
I'm sure they appreciated it.
They were very happy.
They have tables at Walmart here every day through the whole Girl Scout cookie season.
It's such a good thing.
I can't keep away from buying them.
Did we? I know we sat. I think we did. There was an Ingles off 92 where we parked, and that was our little corner that we were. I shouldn't say it like that. But yeah. As far as the badges go, like I pulled up the same kind of thing just to kind of remind myself what they were. So there was the red border ones, which kind of like fitness. Apparently our world of well-being. So they're fitness, but they're also like there's a music and crafts one. It's hobbies and just kind of making yourself well-rounded. So you shouldn't have to take some of those basic classes in college. Sorry. Then there was the world of people, the blue border ones, which is again community and learning more about like how you fit into the world.
I have two of those. One is for play, and the other is for the Girl Scout ways.
And then we got the world of today and tomorrow with the orange badges, which was like
I got
a lot of like well, I've got like Mrs. Fix-It, Science Sleuth. I'm
a little concerned because I don't remember what I got it for, but my orange border badge is called My Body.
Probably health.
Maybe health.
It's like health. And then
where on the bear did they touch you? Like
I don't
hopefully nowhere. And then the purple one, which I know I have more, and I think they were part of the ones that did not get sewed on because my mom ran out of patience. Those are apparently the specific World of Arts ones.
Yes, I have lots of those.
So yeah, because I'm looking and I'm like, oh, I recognize that dance badge and that photography badge and that theater badge, but they're not on here. And it looks like the last one is Yellow Borders, which is the outdoors.
Yes, I have one of those.
I had many of those. Actually, I had almost all of them.
Oh, I found it. I have the vintage badges. It's called Earth is Our Home. So it must have been something for like Arbor Day or something. Earth
Ecology.
Ecology-ish. I like animals.
But yeah, they've specifically now done more. Like there was like I've got one on budgeting and like
Yeah,
money.
Oh,
they
see,
they
that's great. That's a good
yeah they're
life
doing a
Yeah,
skill.
lot more with like
they've got coding ones now. Like they're
yeah.
specifically very much more. They always had a couple for science and stuff. Like I've got the science one, but now it's a lot more STEM heavy, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, they've. I mean, obviously they've learned that they need to change with the times, and I think they were the first ones that have been like, if you describe yourself as a girl, you are welcome.
Yep. As long as you identify as a girl, congratulations, you're in.
Yeah,
That's all.
which I really love, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I I thought that was really great too. I actually loved scouting. I would have probably stayed with it. Like I said, I made it up to cadet, which
Mhm.
basically I made it to middle school. And then my middle school troop was so different. I swear to goodness it was Troop Beverly Hills. Cuz all of our I think I did like 2 or 3 meetings and they all involved shopping. And I'm like, I I don't have the allowance that the rest of you people have apparently to
Wow,
do
no.
this.
Jeez.
I'm out. I don't care about shopping. I know how to do like I remember one of them. She's like, "Oh, this is how you calculate percentages, so you know how much to take off." I'm like, "I know. I don't care. This is zero interest to me." But everybody else is into it, so I'm like, I'm not gonna ruin everybody else's fun. I'm just I'm
I'm
out.
out. Yeah,
I'm out, and I joined band, so that was fine.
I think maybe if I had, I don't know, had more wherewithal, or I guess I had just lost interest at that point, or something, or there wasn't another troop in our area. I can't remember. Because I probably would have liked staying in Girl Scouts, but for some reason
We're liquidated.
we were liquidated. I don't remember. I think my mom said that because she and I share the sometimes we don't have the right word, but we'll try and come up with a word that's similar. So that just stuck in my brain. So,
But yeah,
now I
I
want to call and ask her.
I did the bridge from Brownie to junior, and yeah, no, it was. I mean, it was middle school, so by then I was finding other things and other ways to stay, like make groups outside of school. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
band,
I also joined band in middle school. So
band helped a lot with that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I've got a list of like famous women who were also in Girl Scouts who went on to, be famous.
all right, let's hear.
All right. This my site slows down. So I'm literally just reading this off a USA Today because I'm classy that way. I know that like they have Taylor Swift listed as number one. I think that's just because she's the most famous right now. Like who hasn't heard of T Swift? So used to be a Girl Scout and went on to, sing and write. And Elizabeth Dole, politician. Lisa Ling, journalist. Dorothy Hamill. I'm not gonna list like all 50. Janet Reno, awesome. Let's
Like
see.
skim through and look at and like
Dorothy
I'm
Hamill.
randomly
I had a
calling out the
Hamill wedge
ones.
for too many years in the 70s. Just saying.
Sally Ride,
Yeah.
astronaut. Heck yeah. Oh man, I remember being so into space until I saw the Challenger and like
Oh.
nope, I'm out, I'm done,
Nope, out.
no more.
Yeah.
that happened 2 months before I was born.
Well, it was such a big deal because that was they had a teacher and she was going to do classes from space.
Yeah.
So they were specifically like pushing that, and like we were going to be able to see video recordings. Like they were going to send other schools the tapes of those sessions. because it was the 80s and everything was on VHS.
Yeah.
Katie
I was
Couric.
actually in high
journalist.
school sitting in a class and watching that happen live. So there's that.
I remember the older kids were actually watching it as it happened.
Yeah, that was traumatic. But we're going to have an episode at some point about historical events we've lived through, and we'll go through that then.
Yeah. We'll put that on the list.
Barbara Walters. Gloria Steinman. Madeleine Albright. Ooh, hey. Nancy Reagan. Chelsea Clinton. No surprise. Laura Bush. Lots of first ladies. Ooh, Tammy Duckworth. Cool. Sandra Day O'Connor. Former Supreme Court Justice. Let's see. I'm halfway through the list, I promise.
Find one more big one. Surprise.
Like women being early adopters of structured leadership roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, because again, like the whole point is to encourage you to be self-sufficient and confident. Diane Warwick, Kathleen Turner, Sheryl Crow, Mary Tyler Moore.
Yay!
On my beret for her. Condoleezza Rice. Oh, the Wonder Woman, Linda Carter.
Oh, yeah.
Candice Bergen, actress. She was Murphy Brown, for people who don't know. Martha Stewart. Queen Latifah.
I like that.
Shirley Temple, Lucille Ball, Venus Williams, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, so if you want to be first lady, be a
girl. or if you're in the UK, join the Girl Guides or the equivalent, because apparently that's what Queen Elizabeth II did.
Oh, yeah. Well, she drove ambulances during World War One. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Lady has going on. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, last 10. Grace Kelly, Hillary Clinton, Betty Davis, Dakota Fanning, Vanessa Hudgenson, Celine Dion, Gwyneth Paltrow, Carrie Fisher, Mariah Carey, and then Taylor Swift.
Yay, Space Mom.
We'll make you proud, Space Mom.
Yep. I got glitter on. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's Girl Scouts. I personally keep dabbling with the idea of maybe signing up as a adult volunteer, just because I'm not gonna have kids, but I think it would be a fun thing to do, and I have many calluses from many glue gun encounters that I feel like I could pass some crafting knowledge on.
I feel like I would. That would be something that would be fun, but also I'm like, I only made it to brownies. I kind of feel like I don't have the street cred, but you know.
Yeah, like,
but I think
I feel
it's
like
very much bringing your life skills to it, right?
I honestly, I think I'd be more inclined if like one of my friends' kids was interested and be like, yeah, sure, I will scout your group for you, but none of my friends who have kids of that age are interested. The rest are too old or just way too young, so
We'll see.
I'm chewing ice here, sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. So that is pretty much Scouts.
Yay, Scouts.
So Grills, what are you most anticipating right now?
I have a Star Wars RPG coming up tomorrow, so that's gonna be fun. I get to go back into a galaxy far, far away, and we're at the point where we're in a hive of scum and villainy, so we'll see what happens. I start my D&D game on Wednesday, so we'll see what shenanigans they get up to. I was only planning on doing like a session 0, but they have literally been blowing up my Discord server with just chatter about how excited they are. So I'm like, well, maybe we'll do session 0 real quick, and then we'll just hop in and start start session 1. I have a staycation because I was going to go to MomoCon, but that was canceled. So I have Thursday and Friday off, and then Monday are my work is closed. So I have a 5-day weekend. I am planning on finishing my Totoro blanket. Again, he is happy to see you. Almost done. I wanted I wanted to start my next project, which is this it's like a cat blanket. It's got different little blocks, like little blocks that are different cats in different positions. And I was gonna make each of them like a month. So like the January cat is a little cat looking up at snow. The February is a little cat with bows on its ears. But I'm running out of black yarn, so I don't know if that's going to be happening. If nothing else, I'll just order some and get it 2 weeks later. That's basically what I am looking forward to.
Okay. I'm hoping to go hiking or walking if it ever stops raining. It just started raining. It's supposed to rain for the next 5 days, which sucks because they did just open some of our parks back up. It's like, dang it, I want to go, and I actually discovered a new spot I want to go check out. So I'm hoping to get that done sometime before our next show. I have started this, as I mentioned it earlier, this painting project, and I figured I would try to hold myself accountable by showing it on the show. So I've got this was a very nice lion head that I thought would be good outdoors, but it was not, and it's become very decrepit in a couple years of weather. But I have put a base coat on it, and I'm going to paint it and detail it. And if you play WoW, you can probably guess where I'm going with this because I have a yellow base coat on it.
For the Alliance question?
Yes. Alliance. So I'm going to try and make this decrepit, old, crusty lion head into like an Alliance symbol and try to make it look like it's crusty, falling apart because it aged that way. And then I can coat it really well and put it back in the garden and get a few more years out of it.
Or it got whacked with a sword.
Or something, yeah, but I don't know where you would wear an armor. And WoW would just be a pauldron this size, right?
Yeah.
So, and actually a cute, funny little story is, of course I'm Alliance. My high school mascot, Lockport Senior High School, was Lions. It was the Lockport Lions, and our colors were seriously blue and gold. And Buffalo Sabres, my favorite hockey team. Again, what the hell? So, I also have a saw blade that I found in the shop that I'm hoping to turn into a sunflower. I'm going to get back into Kingdom Hearts. My son asked me to pick him up some stuff at the store, and he's almost out of money because he is still unemployed. And I said, well, you could do stuff for me. He's like, well, I could fold some laundry. I'm like, $20 is a lot of laundry folding, kiddo. You'll be at it for a while. But I'm stuck on Kingdom Hearts and haven't been able to play it for months, and it's a fight I'm pretty sure you could do. I'm just having trouble with the move, so I'm actually like literally paying my son to get me past my stuck spot.
Which part?
Kingdom Hearts. It's the Baymax fight.
Oh, okay, New Kingdom Hearts. I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's the new one, and like you're in the whatever their version of New Tokyo or Yokio, whatever it's called. And there's
San Fran, Tokyo, I think is what it was.
Something like that. And there's the end fight there is timed, and you have to go to like 4 or 5 different locations and do this series of fights in a certain amount of time. And I can do all of them but one, and it's a specific little tricky thumb finger move to jump up on the pole and swing around it and go to the next one, and you have to do it that way. And I can't do it. And I just quit playing like months ago. I would once in a while go in, try it. I can't freaking do it. So I'm literally going to pay my son to be a gamer. And I mean, I'm that parent. I've been telling these kids, you're so good at that game. I will drive you to places, compete, make some money with that. So maybe it'll encourage him to do that. I have a virtual hangout date with Leah on Wednesday night. She's not seen Maleficent,
Ah,
so
okay.
I don't know if we're
Ray,
gonna.
Ray and I actually saw that together. Like when it came
Oh.
out. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's on
Because
We
Disney
had
Plus
brunch in
now.
the movie.
Because my husband didn't want to go see it. So I was like, fine, I'll take Ray.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus now, and she hasn't seen it, and I will watch it again because I am just a fan of Maleficent in general. And we're having these discussions about Sleeping Beauty. And it's kind of fun. Hopefully, next weekend for Memorial Day, we will have a small gathering, socially distanced outside, and have a fire. And my son is talking about coming in from Raleigh for that. And I haven't seen him since November. So I'm really hoping that happens. I miss him a lot. He called me last night just to tell me how much he loves me and he appreciates everything I have taught him, which was pretty nifty.
Aww.
Yeah. They get
That's
better.
awesome.
Kids suck, but you know. They get their 20s and they start to come around to you weren't wrong about everything.
Yeah.
And I'm quarantining a little more seriously right now, for the next 2 weeks. Friday, a friend of mine lost his mother.
Mm.
One of his bandmates OD'd the week before and died.
Jesus.
And then his mother unexpectedly passed. And it was kind of like a stroke aneurysm gone the next day. They are going to have her test for COVID because there are a lot of this, that kind of stuff going on with that. But I went to his house to tape a flower to his door, and he was home, outside, and I'm sorry, I've been really good about the distancing, but I mean, he lost his mom, and he was crying, and I had to hug him and take care of him. And then I called home and had Rob do the whole quarantine setup, put a change of clothes in the bathroom, put my robe by the door, but I'm going to be a lot more careful about contacts for the next couple of weeks because I was hugging somebody crying who had just spent time in a hospital.
Yeah.
So, love you, Bryce. Blessings to you and your mom. And your dad. So, yeah. That's, I think, all I have going on is art. Art and more cooking. And more mask making.
All the masks.
All the masks. It's okay.
Yep. Yeah, much like Linda, it was going to be my my MomoCon vacation that is now a staycation. I was, since I am essential worker, I was debating on not taking it, but it's just because you work from home doesn't mean your job is any easier. And if anything, it's actually more crazy because I can't just go to our file room, access the files if it's not in our email system or something accessible on our cloud. I can't see it, and the phone system is so frustrating. So I'm just gonna have a nice staycation and not think about that for 5 days.
Oh.
That's all I want. But so we have our D&D Acquisitions Inc. Acquisitions Incorporated game by Simulacra Studios this Wednesday, and hopefully I will be feeling fine to do the Avernus D&D game on Sunday because I missed it yesterday because there was a migraine that would not let up. So
yeah, the allergies, the pollen came back with a vengeance yesterday here in Georgia. It flattened my husband today. He didn't go to work because he just had so much. He actually woke up. He woke up sneezing on Sunday, because he has a sleep app machine, so he has a mask on to help him breathe during the night. And I woke up and I see him take the mask off and sneeze twice. And then he got up, went to the bathroom, came back, and sneezed again. He was like, "God damn it!"
No.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
the
re-hit hard here in North Carolina, too. Today we went outside and our shiny table bar thing we made looked super dusty. It was just covered in pollen.
Ugh.
Yeah, I really think that walking and spending the hour outside Saturday, while fantastic, is probably why I was just incapacitated on Sunday. I was just like, everything hurts. I'm just gonna not.
I'm just gonna not.
But yeah. So
I think that's everything that we're all getting.
I'll do
Okay,
it.
I didn't hear the
Yep.
Inverness thing. All right,
Yeah.
so remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on most Monday evenings. Our next one will be on May 25th at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern.
And in addition to all the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/grills. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch. And it really helps.
Give us that Amazon money. Another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. Leaving a review is free, and they help our ranking, which can help other people find our podcast, which is great. Also, you can join our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter if you'd like to help spread the word.
All right. Well, where can we find you on the interwebs, Grills?
You can find me on Twitch and on Instagram under the name madcap_misc. That's MISC, as in miscellaneous.
I could be reached at 9 of 12. That's NINEOF12 on Twitter and Twitch. And you can hear me on the Heresy and Hearsay podcast. You can find everything our missing host, the Jen, does at thejensays.com.
And you can find me on Instagram under Dappeldame and on Twitch as Ray Ino. So thanks for listening, everyone, and good game.
Good game.
GG. Okay. So, Showbot
tried to ban me for trying to say for the Horde.
Nightbot. Yeah,
Nightbot. That's automated. I have all caps banned. It just...
I noticed. I'm like, oops. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bot's a little intense. I like...
But by our combined powers, we almost have a sandwich. Girl Scouts, cookie dealers, same diff. If you want to be a first lady, be a Girl Scout. And Space Mom was a Girl Scout.
Those are good ones.
I like the sandwich one. Although I think we totally have a sandwich. If we have chicken and bread and cheese, it's totally a sandwich.
Yeah, I do know how to capture and slaughter and pluck and cook a chicken. Thank you, Grandpa.
That sounds like the hardest. I gotta say, this
that was the most interesting summer.
I'm gonna be eating a bunch of other game, but the whole chicken plucking nightmare, I'm not really interested in that part. Yeah, but yeah, I know.
It's still the little flipping pin feathers.
Ugh, yeah. No, I'm much cooler with skinning. Skinning is easy. So
but yeah, if you
I don't know how to fish, but
if you votes for a sandwich.
Well, I kind of know how to fish. I can't clean it, but I'm really lucky when it comes to fishing.
So we're set. So
yep.
If you give me tomatoes, I can make us ketchup.
And I've done some archery, and I can shoot. I don't have a gun, but I can shoot.
I can archery. I can do archery. I just don't have my own set of real arrows. I have faux arrows because I don't want to kill my friends by accident.
I'm gonna raid.
Appreciate that.
Drunk Kids Gaming. Yep. We'll do that, and then then I can go offline and talk about other stuff. Bye, everybody who came. Thanks. Go see Curly. He's fun. All right. Stop stream.